personal leadership helps us to bring an awareness of what is the true potential any person can have. So basically, if you have an amazing iPhone and if you don't know how to unlock it, so what's the point? You can't even use it. And when you unlock it, and if you are just using just to call, so there is no point in having the world's smartest phone. So when you know how to use all its features, then we can make the best use of it. Likewise, each one of us is capable of doing so many amazing things. So we have each one of us is very special and very unique. When we know how to maximize our potential, we can do amazing things. So there are so many life aspects which we are not aware of about ourselves. It can be time management, it can be emotional intelligence, it can be self-awareness. So many aspects which are not taught in schools and colleges. Such kind of an awareness, personal leadership is going to bring to the students and all people. Let's get into all details. So why I am here? So I got a great support from my family, from teachers and friends. So I want to extend the same support to my fellow juniors. Mainly. The second reason is in COVID, so many people and families got impacted. So which makes us think about why do we need leadership in our day-to-day life and how our societies can be transformed with great leadership. So inspiration, role models and friends play a huge impact on us. If you have good friends, that creates good habits and vice versa. So my role models are Steve Jobs, Elon Musk and the Netflix story. I love movies. So how they bootstrapped themselves and how they reorganized and how they made their companies grow and thrive. So I have organized this presentation in 4 episodes. So that's the first episode is my life story. Basically, I'm not good at studies. So in my schooling and in college, I used to face so many challenges. Almost 24 attempts I failed before I got selected in TCS among 15,000 people. Afterwards, TCS has gave me opportunities to know more about myself and explore the world. So I got an opportunity in UK. So there I have learned a lot. And after that, I moved back to India and started my own startup for you. After that, what we did is we have a website and WhatsApp. We used to accept website and WhatsApp orders, and we used to deliver quality hygienic food to the nearest IT offices in the high-tech city area. So we did for 2 years, and later I moved to US. I got my US visa, and I joined in Citibank. I worked there for a few years. Later, COVID started, work from home, and my entire family got COVID, which inspired me to pursue my career in leadership. So second episode is self-realization. So I want to share a story, the recent incident in Vijayawada. So one high school girl, when she goes in an apartment, every day she goes to upstairs to dry off the house. One elderly person came and he used to touch her inappropriately. The high school girl don't know how to handle the situation, and she has written a letter and committed suicide. So the point is, if we have any challenge, we are at least like if we have someone to share, at least maybe parents, teachers or friends who can help us. So the external world doesn't know what are the challenges we are facing. So at least be open and just talk to people who we trust and get the help, whatever that is required. So reinvent the wheel, the phrase. So we no need to reinvent the wheel. So what that means is just we can use the existing wheel rather than creating from the scratch. So in life, from the day we are born, we get so many facilities. So food, we don't prepare our own food. Like so many facilities we get in the form of products and services. If we know how to use it wisely, we can have an amazing life. Second thing is attitude and mindset. This brings me to an amazing person called mother. Even though it's her first time, whenever the baby arrives into her hands, she becomes entirely a new person, and she cares and shows so much of affection. So she is the most amazing human being on this entire planet. So we have to learn a lot from mother attitude and mindset, practice. So Sehwag used to practice one shot an entire day, which makes him to play like that, like exceptional in his cricketing shots. So likewise, from now today onwards, by end of the graduation or like whatever the career we are in, if we're gonna practice any skill, any interest for the next few months or years, we're gonna become like expert in that area. So first we have to identify what excites us and makes us practice. So the fourth is IIT Madras experience. Basically, I got an opportunity to visit IIT Madras. There I could, it raised two questions. Why IITians and the allied college students are better than the rest of the world? So they learn the concepts, the basic concepts are pretty strong. They learn everything from through first principles. Second thing is they learn skills over there. The third thing is they are not afraid to fail. So they try new things. The fourth point is networking. So networking opens a whole new world of opportunities. So basically they network with peers and alumni so that they create startups and they have got a huge impact out of it. So the third episode is challenges. What are the challenges I got? So communication was used to be a big challenge. Even though I came from an English medium, I used to by heart a lot. So in the exam to write the maximum pages, I used to mug up everything. So how I overcome the problem is practicing writing once I finished my graduation. So I used to write emails, blogs and so many things so that I got a grip on writing. So whenever I read for 5 minutes, I get sleep. So the point is, if I don't have an exam, I get sleep when I read something. So how I overcome the problem is, now there are so many tools and softwares available. Text to speech. So I upload any PDF, it reads for me. So I converted my reading habit into listening habit. So speaking was a big problem, so I used to practice a lot at home. The second thing, the third thing is procrastination. What it means is postponing a task. So I always used to plan for the next day, that next day will never come. So what I did is I used to maintain to-do list, schedule meetings in the calendar so that I don't miss anything. Final thing is passion. Most of if you ask this question, whether if people like what they do, most of the time we get the answer no. Maybe because many people don't like what they do. That's a fact. If you ask many people, 80% of the software engineers, they don't like their jobs. So unless we find our passion, it's pretty hard. We work in our life for 40 years, which is equal to 2000 weeks. Until we find what we love, we keep on working. Once we find our passion, from that day onwards, work is no longer a work. So how you find your passion is try new things, pursue new careers in who interests us. So the final episode is personal transformation. So water takes the shape of the container it is poured into. Likewise, so we need to become the person who we aspire to. For example, if you wanna become a coder, we have to transition into that person entirely. For example, if a normal person want to win a medal in Olympics in a specific sport, so he has to become that person altogether, be it a swimmer, runner, whatever that is. So it happens in 4 stages. First is information. Information can be relevant or non-relevant. Second thing is motivation. Can be extrinsic or intrinsic. If an egg is broken from outside, it becomes an omelette. If it is broken from inside, a life emerges out of it. So inspiration. So we see movies, people like that, but we join gyms for the next 2 weeks, but we don't continue. So the final stage is transformation. Once we transition or transform our personality, whatever the things which we want to do, those are going to stick into our head. For example, if a person has got a heart attack or diabetics, they have to change their lifestyle entirely, or else they couldn't survive. That's kind of an example. So, did you ever watch this movie? So, let me tell the little story. So, the hero meets the heroine at a restaurant, love at first sight. He falls in love, so he creates a dreamland in his mind. Just like in Kick movie, Brahmananda will have this violin kind of a thing. They have an amazing first day. And the second day, the hero meets the heroine, but the heroine doesn't recognize him. So the hero gets shocked. In the restaurant, her family friend works over there, and he tells the story to the hero. So heroine met with an accident, tragic accident. From that day onwards, she remembers only one day of memory. So if she sleeps, she forgets everything what happened on that day. So it's pretty challenging for the hero to make the heroine remember who is he. So every day, like For the next 50 days, he attempts like he introduce himself. He come up with brilliant creative ideas to make heroine to fall in love with her, and the next day she won't remember anything. So he comes up with a brilliant idea. So that for that you have to watch the movie how he solves this problem. But once he implements the problem, like the heroine every day she remembers him. So like he has to do some trick with that. You have to watch the movie. What's the point is know themselves. So just like how the heroine remembers the hero every day, so we have to know ourselves every day. So basically our bodies are the vehicles which drives us in our life journey. So it's it's a kind of a vehicle. When you maintain it well, so it's gonna get us a good mileage with respect to time and life. So how we gonna do is by understanding our own biology. So physical exercise, mental exercise like yoga, basic breathing exercise improves our lung capacity, having nutritious food, and keeping ourselves hydrated. Drink good amount of water. The final thing is sleep. Do you guys know why do you sleep? Did you ever ask why do you sleep?
To give rest to the brain and the body.
Yeah, that's the default rest. Okay, rest. But what happens? Why do we need that rest? Or why you sleep?
To store the memory, popular memory.
Refresh ourselves for the next day.
Yeah. So technically they are true, but let me explain why do we sleep. So throughout the day we accumulate so many memories in our brain. So at night what our brain does is it puts the body to sleep and it clears unwanted memory, it optimizes the memory. Not only that, it cell repair, boost the immunity system. So like today we may have a fever. The next day it disappears. How it happens? Right? Because during the sleep it recycles everything and it refreshes us. So everything happens biologically, but most of the people aren't aware what is the necessity of having a great sleep. If you have a proper good sleep, and the next day will be brilliant. And if you see all sports stars or any achievers, they will have strong deep sleep, which energizes them for the next day. So basically, our human body is a combination of hardware and software. When we know how to install antivirus, like we deal every day with so many challenges. So there will be a kind of a virus, and if we know how to install antivirus, we can make the best use of our body. For example, anger. Some people will be very angry. They have depression, sadness. There are so many challenges people might be dealing with. Just like in your mobile phone, if you know how to install an app and how to uninstall it, so the problems can be apps, and when you know how to uninstall, that simply goes away from our life. So it's a similar kind of a thing. Basically, personal leadership helps us to create a self-awareness, time management. There are so many aspects. How to find passion, money management, relationships. So many aspects. Personal leadership is going to cover it. So it simply helps us to live a conscious life. It's a kind of a GPS Google Maps in our life. So it's a journey that should begin from today ideally. So if we realize it, we'll start from today. How do we do it is by reading biology. So biology, 3 steps. First thing is physical exercise. 5 minutes of physical exercise, 5 minutes of yoga, breathing exercise, and 5 minutes of writing what we are going to do for today. Why? Because we don't know, we can't go back to the past, and we don't know what's going to happen in the future. Today we can control it, so our life is going to change forever. So spending the time consciously, 3 things. And the second point is life purpose and goals. So basically, if you are on a road, on your bike, if you don't know where you are going, where are you going to end? So it is pretty important to have a goal or a purpose so that we know our destination and we're going to enjoy the journey. So that's more important. Or else just like any other animal, we just live. There is no difference between them and us. And how do you achieve the goals is by creating habits and routines and choices. Basically, average any human being makes 35,000 decisions per day. 35,000 decisions, consciously, unconsciously. That's too much. But in the book, The Power of Habit, the author clearly explains how habits are formed. So anything, we get a trigger or a cue is a signal. We see a mobile phone, so we feel like playing, we play, we take that action, and finally we get the reward. We like it, we do it again and again, which creates habits. Habits can be good or bad. But once we start doing the habit loop, it becomes automatic. We never think how to brush or come to the college. It becomes automatic. That's how habits are formed. If you see the movie Matrix, so it has got two options, like two choices. The hero will become red pill or a blue pill. So in exam, like most of the good content of the cricket matches come at exact at the same time during exams. So we hear two voices from our brains. Okay, enjoy, watch the movie, play the cricket match and whatever that is. And the second voice says, read for the exams. So whichever voice we listen, so our future depends on what choices we make. So leadership and entrepreneurship is the most important thing. Why? Because every year 16 lakh engineers are getting graduated, around 2 crores young people are joining into the workforce. There should be someone who creates the jobs. How can we create the jobs? Is by starting companies, startups. So that's the key point. So if you look at Bill Gates, during 1970s, computers used to occupy the entire room. But he believed in the funda if we can make the computers usable so that everyone can use. So our main mantra in this personal leadership thing is to make the students as leaders. Once a person becomes a leader, he will never sit idle and waste his potential. And the second picture is Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak. So Steve Wozniak is pretty good in building computers. Steve Jobs is pretty good in selling anything. So basically, they have started Apple from Steve Jobs' parents' garage. So what's the lesson we can learn is, so it's okay, we can start as small as we can. So even though people and family says that doesn't work, that's okay. So we have to stick to our ideas and we have to believe in ourselves and we have to start doing it. So that's the key. So how do we do that is by winning our day. So we all have limited amount of time in our life. So we live for around 70 years average. Dogs live for around 10 years. Ants live for 1 year, and some species live only for 1 day. Within that 24 hours, he has that species has to perform all its biological things what it is supposed to do. So likewise, we all have 24 hours of time. So we will CEO of Google or anyone. So out of those 8 hours we sleep, 2 hours personal activities, which we are left with 14 hours. That 14 hours, if we spend consciously on those activities and the things which we want to do that really makes us, then we're going to create an impact or we can achieve whatever we want to achieve in our lives. So in the book, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, the author illustrates how can we plan our day by doing the highly important and urgent activities at the first of the day and postponing or putting all the non-urgent unimportant things to the weekends, like watching Netflix or whatever it is. So let's catch before the time melts and flews away from us. If we don't take control of our time, someone else will. So Steve Jobs' story. So Steve Jobs has got only 56 years of age, like 56 years of time. So he is the richest person when he died. Like he has got a whole lot of money, but he couldn't save his own life. So he has to do all the things he needs to do within the 56 years of time. Always stay hungry and stay foolish, which means innovation necessary. So the point is we should always be curious to do things and we should be a lifelong listener and we have to keep the little child alive inside us to take those first baby steps, or else we don't even start anything. So that's important. So let's be the change we all wish to see in this world. That's about by Mahatma Gandhi. So whenever I am low or not confident, rockets boost me up with energy. Why? Because anything is possible if we believe it. So basically we are a class of 100 students. So each one of us graduated with different percentages. Some of us took IT jobs, some other jobs, some immigrated to other countries, some are living in India, and some got married and they have different challenges after marriage. Like everyone is having their own challenges in life. When we know how to deal with those challenges smartly, we can have an amazing life. And if you don't know how to handle it, we gonna screw our life. So the point is, so no one is a winner or a loser in our lives. Basically, we compete with our own self. So that's the thing. And so what next? So usually people will hear so many motivational videos and all those kind of stuff, but the impact will be very minimal. So it's not about giving a great speech. It's all about creating the kind of an impact. So what we are going to do is we have a Discord channel, Discord app. So basically it's a group of leaders. I consider them as ants. Each leader or ant is wants to help and take help from the other people. So we help each other. We discuss all our new ideas, and if we have any challenges, we share solutions. That's the kind of an impact we want to leave on the communities. That's my email ID. If anyone has got any inquiries or something, like you can contact me on my email ID or on the Discord channel. So this is pretty much that's it. And I all wish everyone should be healthy, happy, be legendary, and great leaders. Thank you very much for all your time. That's it. So, I'm not pretty good at the presentations, but I can write well.